Hello, hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Predominantly Love Oracle. I am fairly new to this community. I just started reading maybe a month or two ago. I've been called to it for a while, but I kind of been running from it because I do come from sort of a religious background, and I've always been taught that things like this aren't good. It's witchcraft, but this has proven to be one of the most accurate, most life-changing spiritual experiences and guidances I have had for my life in itself. And God has just completely reconstructed my beliefs about spirituality in general. And so I've always been told I had a prophetic gift. I've always had foresight about things. I've always had dreams and visions about things that come true, or have had words for people that I give that manifest. And yeah, so I just stopped running from my calling and decided to go with this. So while this is not my first time doing these pulls or doing readings for people in general, this is my first time recording it, so bear with me if I'm a little bit nervous. If you follow me on Twitter, my Twitter is everythingPDL, which stands for Predominantly Love. I do try to do overall energies Monday through Friday. Haven't been too consistent with it just yet, but I know this particular week I did do every other day. But I did want you all to know that I have a Patreon, and yeah, follow me on this journey, because the more that I grow and become spiritually in tune, the more that I hope that what I say resonates. Like I said, I do this often. I practice daily and on myself, my loved ones, my family and friends, and yeah, Spirit has been like, yeah girl, this is it. So I just wanted to do this video about this full moon that is occurring on October the 31st on Halloween. This is the full moon in Taurus. It's the first. I watched Tarot by Bronx's video, and she did talk about, I think this is like in 78 years since we've had a blue moon. So it's definitely going to be intense. So what I'm going to do is I am reading from the Mystic Rebel Oracle deck. Is where I will be pulling from, and I'm just going to do overall what the guides want us to know during this time and what the hell is going on during this time. So I'm just gonna get into it. So spirits, ancestors, protectors, and guides, we want to welcome you here. You are always welcome. Thank you for the guidance that you give. We thank you for just the loving messages of inspiration, motivation, and guidance that you're giving us, what we can expect, what it is we need to be in tune about, what we need to pay attention to. We're thanking you in advance for it. We welcome you here. I ask for the white light of protection to shield and protect me and guide me from any energies that may want to interfere and get in the way of what message you have for the collective. So right now I ask you, spirit, angels, ancestors, and guides, what do you want the collective to know about this overall energy for this full moon on October the 31st, 2020? We thank you in advance, Ashe. We thank you in advance, Ashe. What is the overall energy? What can we expect? What is it that you want us to know about this full moon, this blue moon in Taurus on October the 31st? Ashe, and we thank you in advance. Ashe, and we thank you in advance. Ashe, Ashe. What is the overall theme? What is the overall theme? Normally my cards come flying out, but they're not now. So I guess Spirit just wants me to go with it and, oh, there's one. Go with it and flip these cards over. What is the overall energy? What is it that you want us to know during this full moon, Ashe? Alright, so I'm going to stop here. Alright, so we have, you are supported, follow what makes you happy, raise your vibe, forgiveness, expand your perspective, resolution, and healing. If you look at the energy reading I did for today, Spirit is calling, the full moon is going to bring a lot of emphasis on relationships during this time. So when that is the case, it means that a lot of internal things need to be healed, things need to be revealed. Relationships are mirrors. So as you learn more about yourself, the more new love comes in. And new love doesn't always mean intimate relationships. It can mean family, relatives, but relationships will be highlighted during this time. Well, our cards, we have you are supported, follow what makes you happy, raise your vibe, forgiveness, expand your perspective, resolution, and healing. So with the you are supported card coming out first, Spirit just wants you to know that whatever happens, because it is going to be an intense time, that you are supported during that time. You need to follow what it is that makes you happy. When we find ourselves disgruntled, frustrated with life in general, it is because we're going against what our soul wants us to do. Society will tell us it's because, oh, you're doing things out of whack, or this is not in line with the way that our world is supposed to function. Well, no, we all divinely have our own conviction. We are individuals and live different lives based off of our own frequency. So when you're not doing what makes you happy, you will always see conflict. So Spirit is calling for you to follow what makes you happy and to raise your vibe. You yourself have a personal aura. You have your own energy. You have your own gifts, your own callings. You are a divine being. And when you lower your vibe, when you lower yourself and basically make yourself small, when you don't take up space, you keep yourself from getting to where it is you want to go. You're literally hindering yourself from the things that you desire. And you're probably operating in the field of people pleasing. I don't know if somebody watching this is a huge people pleaser, but Spirit is calling you to come out of that, and you are supported in your decision to detach from people you feel like you have to constantly hide yourself in order to make them feel good. So raise your vibe. Forgiveness. This forgiveness card keeps coming out in my pullings because, again, as the relationships are being highlighted, there's forgiveness that needs to take forth in those relationships as well as within. So forgive. Forgiveness is not for other people. It's for you, and it's for healing, as this resolution and healing card has come out, so that you can move forward in the things that you want. We don't realize when we hold things against people or even ourselves that we literally hold ourselves back from what we say we want, our goals, our desires, our heart's desires. Also, expand your perspective. With this card, I keep telling people that this is an end time. Society has taught us that the end times is going to be this huge thing that happens and things are going to be destroyed, and then that's the end of earth, when really the end times is just the end of a time. Shout out to Soul Wisdom. She talks about that often in her daily oracles. And expand your perspective as far as life itself. We are shifting out of a way of living and into a new way of living. So it is important that you let go of old patterns, thoughts, and beliefs that no longer serve, because we are entering into a new way of life and being, and you cannot operate doing the same things, thinking the same way, and expecting the same result as you did before. It's just not going to work. I don't know any other way to say that, but yeah, expand your perspective. Life as we know it is changing. This is an end time, the end of a time as we knew it, and you have to embrace it. The more that you fight against it, the more rough of a time it's going to be. So Spirit is just urging you to expand your perspective and allow yourself to make resolutions and resolve stuff that is still lingering, so that you can heal in the proper way. So if the lighting looks different in here, it's because the sun is starting to go down. My battery died last time, but I wanted to read from the actual oracle book, the resolution and healing card, affirmations, and what the message is for it here. And it says, your angels have heard your heart's prayer, blessed babe, and they want you to know that healing, peace, and a harmonious outcome are on the horizon. Please don't doubt that there will be a resolution in the situation you are asking about. Your guides need you to believe that it is so. The stronger your faith and belief in this fact is, the more easily you will be able to hear the divine guidance that your angels are sending to you. It will also help the situation to manifest more easily and smoothly on all sides. Trust that the universe has got your back in this, and that you can relax into the knowledge that Spirit is in control here. No need to worry about the how here. Instead, just let yourself follow the guidance you receive, even if it means swallowing your pride a little or standing your ground more firmly, because it will help the situation unfold happily. And the affirmation is, I know without a doubt that healing, peace, harmony, and resolution are mine to experience in this situation. I trust that all beings involved will be led to their highest good as a result of this situation, and I am grateful for this. So that was from the resolution and healing card that I pulled. So earlier I did the what your guides want you to know during the full moon. Now I'm going to do what is going on during the full moon. And I should have actually done this first. So yeah, I'm going to put this in the beginning the video. Listen is on the bottom. That actually was a card that I saw when I did the earlier pull of what your guides want you to know. So now, angel spirits, ancestors, and guides, first and foremost, we thank you for being here. We welcome you in the room. We thank you for your protection and your guidance. And we just ask for the full moon that is occurring on October the 31st, 2020. What's going on in the midst of all of this? What can the collective expect to see, hear, feel? What is the overall energy that the full moon is bringing in? What's going on? We've heard what you want us to know and how you want us to move forward. The guidance that you're giving us for this full moon. And now we just ask, what the hell is going on? What is this full moon ushering in? We thank you in advance, Ashe. Angels, protectors, ancestors, and guides, we thank you for your guidance, your inspirational messages, and motivations of love, care, spirituality, all that jazz. We thank you. So, what's going on? What's the overall theme? What is the full moon? What's going on? What's the ushering in? Ashe. Ashe, 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 Ashe. We thank you in advance. Okay. And I don't know how, if you're a reader who's doing this, I like to shuffle until the cards fly out because that's normally how they work for me when I'm doing readings and pullings. But sometimes I will, Spirit, just say stop and flip the cards over. But normally, the cards just kind of fly out. So I'll do one more little shuffle and see if anything comes out on its own. And then I will just flip the remaining 3 cards to figure out what the hell is going on during this full moon. What is to be expected. Alright. Okay. So we got 3 cards. We have 3 cards that are in reverse. We have Trust Your Intuition, which is upside down. We have Visualize, Affirm, and Manifest. Worthiness and I'll never say this word right. Receptivity, like reciprocity. Be your most authentic self. And Stand Your Ground is in reverse. So the energy that I'm picking up here is that this full moon occurring is calling for us to trust our intuition, and it is in reverse because this is what we're struggling with. This is the whole reason why this full moon is ushering it in, because we have not been trusting our intuition. We have not been tapping into the divine that's within us. We've been letting outside and physical factors dictate what we do, how we move. What's the supporting card on the bottom? Divine timing. This is the time. I can't make this up. This is the time for us to trust our intuition like never before. I hear Spirit saying now, like, our ability to visualize, affirm, and manifest is dependent on this. And until we begin to do this, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel, and no matter, what people around us may say, because when you start trusting your intuition, people around you are not gonna like it, especially if they're used to you people pleasing. That the energy of people pleasing is really heavy in both of these readings that I've done today. And when you're a people pleaser, people are just used to you kind of shrinking yourself and succumbing to what makes them feel comfortable. So when you start trusting your intuition, just know that things are going to start to fall apart in your relationships, because most people do not take heed or accept the fact that you are trusting your gut or choosing yourself, because you don't normally do that. I myself experienced the great fall away, is what I call it. I experienced it for like the last 2 years. So but that fear will keep you from trusting your intuition. But this full moon is calling for you to surpass all that. Your ability to visualize, affirm, and manifest will bring you the worthiness and receptivity that you deserve and that you require in life. I feel like because I'm seeing a lot of relationships falling to the wayside during this time, but it's going to bring in the ones that you're worthy of, the ones that you deserve, the ones that reciprocate the same things that you give while you're standing in your truth. You're going to start attracting people who also trust their intuition and who stand firm in themselves, who are grounded. So don't be shaken, don't be shaken by the things that fall away. They are meant to fall away. It's time for things to end. Again, it's the end time. It is time for those things to end, and it's time for you to move into a new life, a new light, a new way of being, trusting yourself, being self-reliant. That was a card that came out so many times in the overall energy for the days that I did on my Twitter. And being your most authentic self is also is what this full moon is calling in. Be who you are. No more facades, no more trying to fit in, no more trying to shrink yourself to fit with a certain crowd or to be in a certain relationship. Like, no, it's time to let your true, most authentic self shine. And it's because our country, our generation, our society, we operate on very superficial things. Everything is just fickle. If you don't make a certain amount of money, if you don't live a certain kind of lifestyle, you are looked at as less than, you are unworthy. When you operate out of living because you're trying to live up to a certain standard, you aren't being your most authentic self, and you can't confidently walk into your life purpose. All of this is happening because this full moon is calling for us to step into our true life's purpose. And so being your most authentic self is going to be absolutely vital during this time. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. That was also upside down. And it makes sense because trust your intuition was upside down. It is important for you to, no matter what the outside looks like and what you hear and what you see, that you stand firm on what your intuition is telling you. Okay? That is going to be just most important during this time. And I pulled another card just for, I want to say shits and giggles. But adventure and play. Adventure and play. Doing the things that make you happy. That was in the first spread that I did. Helps you to more easily fall into who your most authentic self is. You're the most happiest when you're being your authentic self. So more adventure and more play for the collective. I'm going to read Stand Your Ground, and then I'm going to ask what the overall advice is moving forward. So stand your ground, stand your ground. So your guides are asking you to lovingly assert yourself and stand your ground in this situation. Be considerate of all perspectives involved while also maintaining your position from a place of empowerment. Right now, the universe is asking you to turn up to your own feelings and trust that you know what is appropriate for you. The people who love you have your best interests at heart, but can only offer advice from their own perspectives. Let me say that again. The people who love you have your best interest at heart. So there's no need to get offended. There's no need to get in an uproar if somebody tries to tell you different than what you know your gut is telling you. But understand that they can only offer advice from their own living experiences and their own perspectives. You cannot get caught up in people who may not see your vision or understand what your gut is telling you. That's why that trust your intuition side card is upside down, because you're probably experiencing that even right now. While it's valuable to seek guidance from others, if their words lead you away from what you know in your gut to be right, it's okay to temporarily tune them out while you pursue your path. Be strong in your truth, and you'll see that this situation unfolds more happily for all involved than you could have imagined. This doesn't mean you can't strike a sweet compromise. Just make sure, like a tree, that you allow yourself to bend in a way that you don't become unrooted from your foundation of integrity and clarity. And the affirmation is, I trust and value my truth and respectfully stand my ground when necessary. Ashe. So, angel spirits, ancestors, and guides. I knew the card was going to come out. Self-reliance. It's upside down. Makes sense. What is the overall advice? What is the advice moving forward with this full moon? Is it just to be self-reliant? You have any other thing that wants to come out? We thank you in advance for your messages of love, inspiration, and guidance. Ashe. What is the overall advice? The overall advice moving forward. Ashe. We thank you in advance. We thank you in advance. So when I flipped the adventure and play card, I thought the self-reliant card was going to come out, but it didn't. It came out for overall advice. And then forgiveness just flew out. So Spirit is calling for us to just be self-reliant. This is a time to completely be confident and trust yourself. You cannot look for validation or confirmation from the outside during this time, because everybody's at war with themselves. Everybody's purging. Everybody's walking to what their life purpose is. We're all undergoing these crazy life changes and healing. So you have to be self-reliant. You have to know that you can trust yourself. Yes, we need support. Yes, we need friends and family and guides. But at the end of the day, you came here by yourself. You're going to leave here by yourself. You need to be self-reliant, and any unforgiveness you have in your heart for yourself or others. I think this came out in the last poll. It's time to forgive. So, thank you all for tuning in. This has been Predominantly Love Oracle, and I'll see you next time.